An urgent plea tonight to anyone looking for a job. Multiple police departments in Northeast Wisconsin are sending out notices saying they're looking to hire crossing guards for the upcoming school year to keep students safe. New at 5, Samantha Cavalli tells us why the need is urgent and reveals the biggest issue when it comes to recruiting.
Officer Joe Benoit with the Neenah Police Department tells me typically during the school year there are 15 intersections that require a crossing guard to allow people to cross the street safely. However, this school year there will be 13 intersections after the recent closing of Hoover Elementary School. While downsizing on the need for crossing guards has helped in Neenah, when it comes to staffing, getting candidates through the door hasn't been easy. Officer Benoit says one of the biggest challenges he's faced as crossing guard supervisor is recruiting and retaining crossing guards. Another is finding alternates that are available to fill in if a permanent employee takes days off. He says it's been difficult to find candidates that are available every morning and afternoon, as people may already have prior commitments in their lives.
There are a lot of hiring challenges out there for many different industries. And when you're trying to hire, a group of people to do a job for a total of an hour and a half a day in the morning and in the afternoon, it takes a special person to be able to commit to that.
And it's not just Neenah police facing challenges. The De Pere Police Department is currently struggling to fill crossing guard positions ahead of the upcoming school year. They're using social media to get the word out and encourage anyone to apply. In Appleton and Oshkosh, positions for crossing guards are still open, but officials tell us they have not had any concerns when it comes to hiring crossing guards. Samantha Cavalli, Action 2 News.